Welcome to our first episode of the Field of View podcast, powered by Version 1, a podcast that dives into the lives of content creators and what they truly think of this insanely competitive world. I'm your host, Autumn Rhodes, and I have been a full-time content creator for 8 years. These podcast episodes will be uploaded on my YouTube channel every other Wednesday and available on all podcast streaming platforms. Today, we have the wonderful Avery, who's also a content creator and someone that I've known for years now. It's been a while.
I think like four years?
I think it has been 4 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
That's crazy. But go ahead and introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are.
Hi, I'm Avery. I've been streaming for 5 years, so less than you. But I've been doing it full time for 4 years.
It's crazy. It's crazy if you think about it. Like, we've literally been playing games and making content for
I think you
that
were the
long.
first person that I met from Twitch too, because
we met through Twitch.
Yeah, and I met you before Bree too.
Really?
Like, you were the first one.
Wow, what
I
the
know.
heck? That's crazy. I didn't know that.
I know, isn't that so weird?
Yeah, and I used to live in Canada where Avery resides as well. I just moved to Florida last year, but yeah, we used to hang all the time, and it's awesome how Twitch and like gaming and content creation like really connects people.
Yeah,
I think that's really, really cool.
you should move back.
I do miss Canada a little bit, but I'm gonna stay here. What game got you started as a creator? Do you remember?
I was playing a lot of Call of Duty growing up. And then obviously with my ex, he was a Call of Duty streamer. So then I started streaming Call of Duty. But then I don't touch Call of Duty anymore. But that's how I started.
Cracked at it too.
I was good at Call of Duty.
Yeah. Actually, we're gonna talk about it later, but there is a new Call of Duty coming out in like November, I think. So I was actually gonna ask if you were gonna like get back into it or dip your toes into it.
They always send me a code to get it, so I always have them.
Yeah.
And then I'll touch them for like 2 hours, and I'm like, that's good. Feels like every other Call of Duty I've ever played in my life.
True.
So
yeah,
I don't really play them anymore.
When did you know you wanted to dive into content creation full time?
I don't even know. Like, I was just dating my ex, and then he said to me like, "Oh, I would always come on his streams, and people really liked that." And then he was like, "Oh, you should try streaming too." I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to be the center of attention and have to do it all by myself. But then I tried it for fun. Like, I was working 2 jobs, and then I would just come home and stream for like 2 hours, like so short. Which, I mean, my streams now are like 2 hours, but I was streaming for like 2 hours, and it was fun. And then I quit one job, and then would stream a little bit more, and then I ended up quitting both jobs.
Yeah, I feel like with like content creation, you have to like dip your toes in it and see like, oh, could I make this work? Like,
you have to start doing it for fun, because everyone's always like, how much money do you think I could make streaming in the first month? And I'm like, you cannot, zero. You won't be making any money in the first month.
Yeah,
Like,
especially now, it's so saturated since COVID and like,
oh my God,
there is no way you can just start like back in the day and like start doing well within a few months. Like,
think about scrolling down on like every game category on Twitch. There is like thousands of people just having 3 viewers and then 2 viewers and then 1 viewer. Like, getting out of that zone is almost impossible nowadays on Twitch.
The only way to do it is like networking with other content creators, and even then it's hard because I feel like so many content creators already have their like niche of people they only play with.
That's why I literally do not play with a single other streamer.
It's funny because I'm always like, yeah, I'm gonna play with friends, and like all I do is play with my boyfriend all the time.
Yeah,
like, I don't know who
to
play
it's like
with.
me too. I'm like, ooh, a little networking, and then I'm like, Matt, you want to play? Like, I do not ask anyone else to play. I always feel a little annoying too asking. Like,
100%.
I always feel like I'm bothering them and like getting in their way of their.
They're gonna think I'm like using them for views, and I'm like, oh no, that's not what I want. I'm just gonna go be solo dolo.
Exactly.
What's the coolest or like craziest moment that's happened during streaming for you, if you can think of any?
Like, obviously I don't want to make it about money, but when you get a really big donation, it's kind of hard to like top that feeling. And Trainwrecks came into my stream a couple months ago, like I think in like January or February of this year, and he donated $12,000. And it was like, it was like I already had a couple drinks, so then I just started bawling my eyes out because I was like, what the hell is happening?
He is so generous. He's the reason why.
Insane.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Like, no, it's okay. It was like $2,000 in bits at first, and I was like, oh my God, that was so much money. Like, thank you so much. Like, I've never seen that before. No one has donated $2,000 in bits.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And then he was like, that's the most amount of bits you've ever gotten. So then he just donated $10,000, like all in one donation, and I was just like,
that's crazy.
It was insane. It was so crazy.
Yeah, Trainer X actually got me, like, a few sponsor deals. I remember I was in an Among Us tournament with him, and then I won, and,
Yeah,
like
I remember when you won. That was
yeah, that was
crazy.
so crazy. And then he started inviting me to things, and, like, he came into my streams and started, like I didn't have donations on, but he started gifting tons of subs, and I was like, "What the
Mhm.
heck?" He's just so, like, generous and, like
He is. He always just wants to give back.
yeah, which is super awesome. I love that. My craziest story also, it was like my second year streaming, someone dropped like 4K and I was like, "What the heck?" Cuz I was still so new to it. So I was
Yeah.
like, "What in the world?" I was
And that's
so
when it was, like,
confused.
not as popular, like,
Yeah.
giving money to streamers, now people are like, "Why are you giving these people money?"
Yeah.
But back then,
It was
people
a
would be like,
huge
"Oh my
thing.
god," it was a huge deal if you were giving
Yeah.
streamers any amount of money or anything.
Yeah, cuz
But
like the viewers just love that attention of like, "Hey, that's me." It
oh, yeah,
was
they love that.
awesome. What are some of the challenges you faced as a creator?
I find myself not enjoying video games as much as I used to now
Yeah.
because I do it for my
I
job.
feel that. Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, like, I don't wanna hop on video games to like, it's not a hobby anymore. Like,
Yeah.
playing video games isn't a hobby anymore. It's not really fun to me to do off stream. Like, if I'm gaming off stream, I'm literally like, "Why am I gaming off stream when I could be gaming on stream? Like, what's the point?" So then I
Yeah.
just don't play video games off stream anymore, and it's just kinda like taking a hobby away from me, which kinda sucks. Like,
Yeah.
but,
I
you know, it's
I
my
one
job now, so I can't complain that much.
and I always say that too. I'm like, there's days where I absolutely love gaming, and there's days where, like, I do not wanna do this.
Mhm.
But because it's our job, like, we are fortunate enough where we get to work from home and play games, but some people don't understand, like, it's they all has a everything has its pros and cons. Sometimes
Mhm.
I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I do not wanna play games today."
Yeah.
And for sure, it takes away that feeling even, like, sometimes when I Valorant off stream and I'm like, "Man, like, I should be streaming right now." Like, I can
Exactly.
never just fully enjoy a game anymore because 'cause I'm
Mhm.
always thinking about, like, making it work for, like,
Yeah.
streaming.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's definitely, like
That's what happens when you turn hobbies into jobs.
yeah.
You don't like them anymore and don't
And I think
appreciate
some
them.
people really misunderstand, they're like, "What? Like, that's so fun." I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
but when you do it every single day, like, 8 to 10 hours a day, like,
Mhm.
eventually you get a little bored sometimes."
And having this it sounds so funny complaining about stuff like this because like, we're really fortunate, but,
Yeah.
obviously everybody hates their job at some point, and, but, like, having to entertain at the same time too for
Mhm.
8 hours straight, people don't realize talking for 8 hours straight is, like
Yeah.
and keeping a chat entertained is very hard, to
And
be
not
honest
even
with you.
that too, but, like, you can feel so discouraged when your viewer count drops and, like, you're
Chat's
trying to
going
make
a
it
little
work
slow,
and, like,
like
game droughts happening, you don't know what to play, chat's not
mhm,
moving, you're talking to yourself, you're like, "Oh my, this is
yeah.
miserable."
You've only been streaming for, like, an hour and a half, and you're like, "When can I end my stream?"
It's true, and, like, we love streaming, but there's days where we're like, "This sucks." Like, this
Mhm.
is just, like, something I'm gonna restart and start tomorrow again. And then
Yeah,
there's certain
exactly.
days where, like, all our viewers are watching big events and stuff, so, like, we always have to look out for, like, everything else that's happening in the gaming world because it really
Mhm.
affects, like, our viewership and, like, our mental.
Yeah, exactly,
100%.
and I don't really pay attention to the gaming world, so
Same. It's so
like
funny because like, I was going through, like, what we're gonna talk about today, and the Doctor Disrespect game was mentioned, which we're gonna get into later,
the
but I was
what?
like, "Doctor Disrespect has a game?"
Wait, what? No.
Same, I was like, "What?" It's, like, coming out, it's gonna be big, I had no idea, but I'm like, "Wow, I'm really out of touch with, like, the
Yeah, you're gonna have to
gaming."
tell me about that because I've never heard of that,
Um,
so
what do you think you'd be doing if you were not a creator?
that was, like, my main issue because I never went to college or anything,
Mhm.
so I didn't really have a plan. I never in high school was like, "Oh, I have a dream job," because I never really dreamed of labor.
Yeah.
So,
You're
but
like,
my
"That's not
teachers
for me."
no, I was like, "Dream job." Um, my teachers always told me that I would be a really good entertainer. Like, one of my teachers was always like, "I'm gonna see you on TV one day. I'm gonna see you on TV one day." And
Oh,
I'm not on
100%.
TV, but I am entertaining to
You are
some
so
extent. So,
entertaining. Like, I
thanks.
feel like as me, I'm like a chill, like, cozy little streamer, but I know if I want some, like, crazy energy, then I go into Avery stream. Like, you're always just saying the wildest things, you have so much energy, and I'm like, "Where did she get this from?"
I don't know where it comes from. Some days I don't. Like some days I'm really chill, but a lot of days,
I love
I be
it though.
getting a couple drinks in me. I be saying the dumbest
Just
shit,
loosen you
but
up.
yeah, for real.
No, but yeah, you say some dumb things, but it's so funny, I love it. Every time I go in there, I'm laughing, so it's always, like, good energy.
Thanks.
How do you think you balance your IRL life and then streaming and gaming? Is it hard for you, or is it easy, or have you gotten used to it?
I think the only reason where streaming gets in the way of my IRL life is when I'm when I have like a really bad sleep schedule and it's hard to, wake up at a decent time, go to the gym, uh, go see my family, hang out with friends, eat 3 meals a day. Like
Live.
yeah, I can't live. That's the only thing that streaming gets in the way of. Other than that, when I'm streaming and waking up at a decent time, I find it to be pretty easy to balance.
Mhm.
But also when I feel like the one way that it might get in the way is like if I haven't streamed very much and then I plan on streaming, I'm like, oh, I haven't streamed the past couple days. I'm gonna stream tonight. And then my friend goes, do you want to hang out tonight? I'm like, yeah, I do want to
Like,
hang out
wait, I
tonight.
do want to hang out.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. That's my one issue is like, I'll kind of like, I'll kind of put streaming in like last place compared to
Yeah.
like my friends or something.
And
But
it's funny because I'm sure you used to put it first. Like it's
oh my
just
God,
like
yeah.
over the years
Yeah,
it's just switched because like your interests just are different. And I think
exactly.
as we get older too, we're like, man, like I really want to spend time with this friend or this person and like do
Exactly.
things, but we have this job to do. And like balancing it too. It's funny because a lot of people don't understand like when you're a streamer, like you are your own boss. Like you are an
Hmm.
entrepreneur. You don't have time to like do things you enjoy. I remember I listened to this one podcast actually, and they were talking about like if you want to be a successful content creator, like you don't have weekends, like you don't have friends, like you don't
Yeah.
have people to visit. Like you're grinding like every day,
Hmm.
posting on all social media, like streaming at all times, networking at all times, and like it can get really exhausting.
Yeah, it
For
can.
sure, like I really struggle with my sleep still. Like I was up until like
You have
6 a.m.
always
last
had a horrible sleep
Oh,
schedule. Yours
awful.
has always been worse than mine because you'll wake up. I
I always
haven't
thought
woken
yours
up
was
at 10
great.
p.m. Mine's okay. Like recently I haven't woken up at 10 p.m. in a very long time.
Oh, I haven't had a
But,
10 p.m. in a long time
but
too.
I know there was
I
times
had
when
like a
you
7 p.m. last month. It's crazy
yeah,
though
no,
because
I
like
haven't had that in a while.
and I think because I'm with somebody that's also a content creator, so like and we're also so nocturnal that at nighttime we just like function better when
Yeah.
creating content. So it's just more of a vibe. So like we'll be up like playing till 6, 7, 8 a.m. and then we're like,
Yeah.
oh shoot. And then like my whole day is canceled.
Yeah.
And I think the
See,
other thing too is like normal people like wake up and go to their appointments and everything. I always have to do
yeah.
my appointments so late 'cause I'm like, oh, there's no way I'm waking up at 9 a.m. Like,
Yeah, that's my issue too. It's like usually they'll be like, "When are you best to come in?" And I'm like, "Put me in like 2 p.m. or something." There's a better chance you'll see me than at 9 a.m.
yeah,
But like, yeah,
100%.
you and Garrett both being content creators and streamers probably makes your sleep schedules horrible.
Yeah,
Because my
awful.
boyfriend's he's a normie, so
Mhm.
he has like a normal person job,
And then you can
and
like follow his schedule.
yeah, it makes it a little easier for me to like
Yeah.
wake up at a decent time. Because if I don't, then I don't get to talk to him very much.
Yeah,
So, you know,
100%. Because, like, I don't wanna, like, go to bed early and then, like, we'll never see each other because our sleep schedules would be so different
yeah,
too.
exactly.
But, yeah, it's funny because before he used to have a very good schedule, and then I came to his life, and then, like, it's just 'cause
Oh,
sleep
you
schedule
ruined it.
got worse,
Oh,
I've ruined it.
yours is insane. You have an
And, like,
insane
I
sleep
try
schedule.
to fix it, and then we just, like, always revert back to, like, going to bed at, like, 2 and then 3
Yeah.
and 4, and then
It
it's
gets
just like
later every single time.
yeah,
Every
yeah.
single time.
What are some future goals that you wanna achieve in this space? Or, like, I don't know, in life, I guess?
Um, I never like create goals for streaming just because like, I'm kind of like I beat myself up if I don't hit goals.
Yeah, yeah.
So if I don't make goals, then
Then you're
I
gonna beat
can't
yourself up.
exactly, I can't beat myself up. But with streaming I try to take it really easy on myself because I find with a lot of streamers is that if they're focusing a lot on their numbers or like reaching certain goals, like they really beat themselves up over it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
so I just take it day by day. I don't really set
Yeah.
too many goals for myself.
I think that's a good idea. I think when people, like, make too many goals for themselves, like, they're always anxious, like, "Oh my god, I'm not meeting this, like, something's wrong with me, I'm not doing good
Mhm.
enough." But in
Mhm.
reality, like, numbers come and go, like, there's peaks and valleys through, like, everything. Even
Exactly.
with streaming, like, I always turn my viewers off because 'cause I'm like, "I don't wanna see."
Yeah, I have not checked my viewer count. Like, obviously, at the end of a stream, I'll get an email saying,
Yeah.
what my average viewer count. But like when I am live, I don't have my viewer count on screen at all.
Yeah.
Because once you look, if it's down,
It just puts
like
you in such a ugh mood.
yeah, your mood's gonna be done for the rest of the night. Like your mood is
Yeah.
done. If your chat and the worst part is your chat could be popping off. Like you could be having a really active chat and you'll be like, oh, I must be having a lot of viewers right now. And even if you don't have a lot of viewers, but your chat is still going crazy, you'll still be like, oh, what am
Yeah.
I doing wrong here? Like, it doesn't matter if your chat is going crazy. If the viewers
100%.
are down, it ruins your mood.
Yeah.
So that's why I
That's
don't check
why
the viewer count
I always
anymore.
say, like, just turn it off. It's just so much
Exactly.
more easier because then, like, it actually feels like you're having a conversation with chat, not worrying about, like, "Oh my god, do I have enough viewers? Like, how many
Exactly.
people are watching me right now?"
Like, there is people watching, there's people taking time out of their day to watch your stream.
Yeah.
So, I think we should appreciate those ones rather than worrying about the ones that aren't in our stream. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Like,
And I say it all the time too. I'm like, man, I'm so worried about like viewer count, but like there are people taking their time right now to watch my content
mhm,
and taking their time to chat in my chat and like this is my community. Like I should just be grateful that like they're here
mhm.
and not complaining about like, oh man, I wish my viewer count was higher.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's so hard because in this industry, like higher viewer count equals more success, more money. So it's just like such like a
And you'll see someone who kinda usually gets the same amount of viewers as you, gaining more viewers than you over time, which you shouldn't look at this like it's a competition, but,
yeah.
it's also hard to not do that too because
Yeah.
you're sitting there
Oh,
like, "What are
it's
they
so
doing right
hard.
that I'm doing wrong?" Like,
Yeah.
that's the
It's
and you're
so
like, "We
hard.
had the same amount of viewers last month, and now they have 100 more than me. What am I doing wrong here?"
Yeah, comparing is, like, the worst thing you can do, but
Yeah,
it's just inevitable as, like I feel like as humans, it's just, like, we compare ourselves to everyone and everything. Like,
exactly.
I for sure have looked at people's stats, I'm like, "Hmm, like, how much better are they doing than me?"
Yeah.
Like,
Or
it's just
I'll see someone who has less viewers than me on an average, but
mhm.
one night they'll have, like, probably about the same amount of viewers that I normally get, and I'll literally be like, "They have so many viewers tonight," when it's the same amount that I normally get, and then I'll see me with that, and I'm like, "Oh, why are my views so
Same!
low?" And then I'm like, "Wait, what? How does that why am I
That's
thinking like
so
that?"
funny that you brought that up because, yeah, like, I saw someone, like, last month with, like, really good views, and I was like, "Wow, that's so amazing, I'm so happy for them."
Mhm.
But then I had this feeling, oh, man, like but I'm like, "Wait, I had the same views, like, why am
Yeah.
I feeling like this?"
But when you see that view on your stream, you're like, "Oh, what?
Yeah,
What?"
you're like, "What? That's not that many." And I think
Yeah.
because when you hit that threshold, like, say you're always averaging 1K and then you go
Yeah.
down to 800, it feels like, "Oh, man, like, this isn't
Yeah.
a lot." But, like, I 2 months ago, you're probably only at 400 or, like,
Exactly.
600. So, like, every month it's always changing, and it's mentally, like, you just have to, like, put up a wall and be like, "Okay, it's fine. It
And
happens, it's
especially
normal."
now that summer has come around, I find that my views are lower,
Yeah.
because,
Oh,
people are
100%.
going outside and they're enjoying the weather and stuff. And it's
Mhm.
stuff like that that you have to take into account too, that, like, people are gonna not be working as much anymore, people are gonna be trying to enjoy the weather more, like
Yeah.
so, like, when my
Especially because,
views are
like
down, I'm like, "Oh, man." Then I'm like, "No, no, no. They'll come back in the winter time. They'll come back in the
They'll
winter
come
time."
back. Especially, like, since COVID, I think, like, mentally confused a lot of us because our viewer count, like, quadrupled, like, insane numbers on
Oh
Twitch,
my
all
god, it
across
was
YouTube,
insane.
everything,
Yes.
TikTok, Instagram. But now, like, it's life is back to normal, like, people are
Mhm.
outside, it's summertime, the views have plummeted in, like, all socials, so everyone's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, what am I doing
Like,
wrong?"
no
But it's
one wants to
not us.
sit inside and watch people play video games anymore. Like,
Yeah.
we were doing that 2 years ago. We wanna go outside now.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure there's gonna be times where, like, they come back. They have retained, like social media has retained a larger percent, but a lot of them have been
Mhm.
like, "Peace, bye."
Yeah. Yeah, they're
So,
not as active anymore, which
yeah,
kinda sucks, but
which is really interesting. Well, currently, what games are you streaming or, like, things that you're interested in?
I'm playing Valorant a lot, but I don't like Valorant, but it's the only game that I can really like, it's the only game that I think about sometimes, and I'm like, "Oh, that seems really fun to play," and then I'll play it,
Mhm.
and I'm like, "I actually fucking hate this game."
Yeah.
But, I still play it. I've been playing, like, Raft kind of, which is
Oh
fun.
my god, we should play Ra okay, it's actually funny because I saw you I think you were doing, like, a drinking Raft stream, I think?
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I saw it and I was watching because 'cause I've been playing Raft and I love Raft.
I was so confused at the beginning. I was like, "What the hell are we supposed to do? I'm just sitting on this
Why am
piece
I
of
on
wood."
this
No,
board?
for real. I jumped in the water. I was like, "What is going on?" And then a shark killed me. But, then you
Bruce,
figure it out.
no.
Then you figure it out,
Yeah.
and it's fun. It is fun.
Fun. It's really
But,
nice when there's always new games coming out or, like
like,
Among
there's
Us,
that
for instance.
did you see that new cat game that's coming out where
Yes,
you play
I
as
was
a
gonna it's on my
stray
list to, like, talk
cat?
about. It comes out tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It
it's
looks
so
so
funny
cute. It looks
because,
so
like,
cute.
I knew you'd like it, so I wrote it down first. I was like, "Oh, she'll wanna talk about this."
It looks so cute. I wanna try
Yeah.
it out.
It has that cyberpunk feel, which is funny because, like,
Exactly.
hopefully it's better than how Cyberpunk turned out,
I
so
did not touch Cyberpunk. It looked fun, but knowing that they released it, like, so many months early and
yeah.
seeing everyone complain about the bugs, I was like,
And then
I'm
even the
good."
workers were overworked, it was a disaster.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really sad.
Like an actual disaster, yeah. So, speaking of games, Doctor Disrespect is coming out with a game called Project Moon, and I did a little research on it, and it's like a shooter game. The graphics look really cool. They're also trying to incorporate NFTs into it somehow, which I think
Oh,
is really interesting because,
that is
like,
interesting.
we've seen some new games kinda tap into, like, the crypto world, but, like, not any of the mainstream games, so it'll be
Mhm.
really interesting to see, like, what he does with it. And
Mhm.
it's just crazy, like, thinking, like, he just started off as a normie and then became a streamer, huge content creator, and now he's making his own video game, which is
Yeah.
so crazy.
Now that you mention it, I think I might have heard that. My brother loves Dr. Disrespect for some reason. I
Really?
don't know why.
For
Yeah,
some
so for some reason. Not to say that Dr. Disrespect isn't good, but my brother does not watch streamers, so I don't know why he's obsessed with Dr. Disrespect. But I think he was telling me about that. Oh, did you see Dr. Disrespect's new game? But I didn't care enough to finish the conversation with him, so that's probably what happened. But
Yeah, it's a first person vertical extraction shooter. So the graphics look really cool. I'm sure a lot of people will be really excited to try it. It'll be interesting to see because like I don't think people on Twitch can like play games with him or like have him on because
yeah,
of the whole thing
yeah,
that
he's
happened.
banned. Yeah,
So like
so.
how are people gonna play his game when his name's all over it?
Oh
So
my
like
God.
that'll be such an interesting thing because Twitch can't stop people from like streaming it. Also, talking about gaming and like I'm super excited. The Last of Us is my favorite game of all time. Have you played The Last of Us?
No, I
Avery.
haven't. I
Oh
haven't.
my. Okay, well, they're remaking the first one and they're giving it updated graphics and making it amazing. It's coming out in September, which I'm really excited to replay it all again. But also they're making it an HBO show called The Last of Us. And
I've seen that.
yes, and
It looks
the
good.
actor is from like one of the Wonder Woman movies and like I'm
Mhm.
really really excited about it. But I think it's really interesting how like gaming can like turn into shows and become like so mainstream. I think that's
Yeah.
so cool. 'Cause I'm
Yeah.
sure there's
Well,
so many normal people
some
that are like
games have
The Last
such
of Us.
good storylines
Yeah.
that, adults and like old people aren't going to play these games. So I think it is
Yeah.
fun that they can watch it in movie form.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. I think it's really cool. And then this weekend, TwitchCon Amsterdam happened and the Tatman Tailgate. Were you gonna try to go to either of them or?
I did want to go to Amsterdam.
Mhm.
Um, I've been to Amsterdam before and I really liked it. So I was like, oh, that'll be so fun. But I was only going to go because of Amsterdam and not really for TwitchCon.
Yeah.
Um, so it was just kind of pointless to go because it would have cost more money than a regular Amsterdam trip.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, because everything skyrocketed.
yeah,
Everything.
exactly. And like it kind of just it would have been crowded in Amsterdam and like as much as I want to meet people, it was just too much money and
Yeah. It's a lot to travel nowadays too.
it's so much to travel
And then
nowadays.
I've heard people have been losing their luggage, and I'm like, that
Oh,
sounds just
the
so
Toronto
stressful.
airport is absolutely horrible right now.
I
It's
saw a video,
terrible.
thousands of luggage everywhere.
Yeah,
I was
and
like,
the lines to get into security is like an hour long, 2 hours long.
what?
Yeah, it's crazy. And then
That's
after that you have to go, well, if you're flying to like America or something, you have to go to like border security.
yeah.
And like that's already a hassle when you're a Twitch streamer because
You're
they
trying
don't
to
believe
oh,
you.
it's the worst. When you go through yeah, another thing as a content creator, when you're going through customs or like whatever, and they're like, "Oh, what do you do?" And you're like, "Oh, I play video games for a living." And they're like, "Huh?" And like it's
They're
so like
mean about it too. They're
they're
like, and you can
so
make money
mean.
doing that. Like I
Yeah.
understand it's confusing, but they're rude. They're like, you
I
make
had
enough?
one I had one guy that
I had to show my bank account one time. He was like, "You make enough?
no,
Show
you
me." I was like,
didn't.
because okay, I was driving into the States and I was staying here. And then he's like,
Yeah.
"How are you getting home?" And I was like, I'm getting a flight." And then he's like, how do I know that?" And I said, because I just told you, like, I don't know what to say." And then he's like, "Show me that you can afford a flight." And I had to show him how much money I had because he didn't
No
believe.
way.
Yes.
That
He
has
was
to be
like,
like an
"Show me."
invasion of privacy.
He's like, "Do you have an apartment? Do you have this, this?" He's like, "I just have
What?
to make sure you're not moving to America." I was like, "I do not want to move to America."
That's
Like I'm good.
crazy.
Yeah.
Even
So
when I moved here, I had the same issue with customs, like, I had to explain, like, because 'cause I'm a dual citizen, I'm American and Canadian, but they were still like, "Huh?" Like, they were very confused. I
which
was like,
doesn't make sense. You're literally a
"Okay."
dual citizen. They should not be
Yeah, they
like
should just be
rude
like,
to you.
"Hey, you're welcome."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've had
Oh
times where,
god.
like, I was telling someone about a Twitch streamer, and the customs guy actually was like he loved Twitch, he watched it all the time, so he totally understood. He's like, "Oh my god, what games do you play?" Like, he was so excited to talk about gaming,
Oh my god. Well,
and I was like
and then if you tell them you're meeting like because my boyfriend lives in America, but I live
Mhm.
in Canada.
Yeah.
So like when I'm talking to security, I'm literally like, "Oh, I'm going to visit my boyfriend." They're like, "Mm, how long have you known him
I
for?
hate when they ask
How long
that.
have you been dating for? Are you gonna move here?" I'm like, "Oh my god." I was like,
Yeah,
"Please, no."
yeah, not a
So annoying.
fan.
I was saying a friend for a while, but then I would have been lying and I would have felt a little bad if they
'Cause
like
then
caught me
they
in a
can tell,
lie.
and then you're like, "Oh god," and then you get
Yeah.
anxious,
So then I
yeah.
just started saying boyfriend.
That makes sense. Um, Fall Guys is kind of resurging. Even Garrett got invited to a Facebook Among Us tournament yesterday. And I know like a lot of content creators are doing stuff with Fall Guys. So a lot of people are wondering, like, maybe Among Us can make a comeback. I don't think so. I think Among Us is just dead and it's never coming
You
back.
think it's over?
I think the whole Among Us world is over, especially
Well,
because a lot of these big content creators still play it once a week and, like, it still isn't gaining the traction that it used to.
yeah, yeah. I think people are just like, we've seen it now. We've seen everybody lying. Like,
Yeah.
like I do not need to watch people lie anymore. And like
Honestly, it's
the
true.
game
It's
is just
already
the
been
same the
done.
exact times. Like unlike Fall Guys, where it's like there's different maps every single
Yeah.
time, like that kind of thing. So I think it's just like
Mhm.
Among Us has had its time.
Yeah. There was a game that I remember a huge group of us used to play, Party Animals. Did you ever play that?
No, but I have seen people playing it, but I
Super
never
fun,
played
but
it.
they never put out a date when they were gonna release it, and it's been, like, over a year now since, like, you got to play the beta, and I was like, "Man, that
Hmm.
would be a really fun game." I just wonder what the next, like, game is that you can bring tons of people together where you could network again, because that was
Yeah,
huge for so many
yeah,
creators.
that was so good.
Yeah.
I really like Pummel Party. I'm
Oh,
a big
Pummel Party's cute. It's like
Pummel
Mario Party,
Party's fun.
but,
It's
like
like Mario Party, yeah.
yeah, it's
I like
really,
it.
really fun. We're gonna talk about gamer drought actually and, like, which games we were most anticipating for 2022, and I kinda have a list here. Stray, which is the cat one that comes out in 2
Mhm.
days. Super excited for that. I actually also found out there's a Lord of the Rings game coming out in September. There's, like,
Oh,
Lord of the Rings Gollum, and I was like, "Oh,
I
interesting."
love
Like,
Lord of the Rings.
I have never watched Lord of the Rings before.
Huh?
I don't wanna get canceled. I've
No,
never
it's
watched.
just crazy because you are such a movie watcher
Yeah.
and a show watcher and everything you get into, like, I remember when you were watching Money Heist.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god. You were
Obsessed.
I've never seen anyone as obsessed with something. Like, you loved Money Heist. You were like, "Have you watched it?" I was like, "No."
I think because I love, like I just oh my god, Money Heist is so good. It's just because the way that they have to go about the show and, like, make it so, like, you don't know what's gonna happen and then bam, it, like, hits you and
Mhm.
the jail breaks and the robberies are really cool, but, um, yeah, no, I freaking love that show. It's funny because when I started dating Garrett, I got him to watch it, and then we finished the whole show together, and it was just chef's kiss. It was so
You
good.
should watch Lord of the Rings because it is so good. I think you'll love
Really?
it. Yeah, they're long, but it's worth it. They're
That's the
so
thing, I don't
good.
wanna sit there for that long. Like, I'll watch all of the Twilight Saga, but I don't wanna sit down and watch Lord of the Rings.
I
It's
mean,
so long.
valid, valid. The Twilight Saga is so good. It's so
Yeah,
good.
and then we
Like,
talked about
not,
the
but
oh, yeah, actually, the Twilight Saga also have a podcast too. There's the girl that played Alice has a
Mhm.
podcast, and she had Rosalie on, like, 2 weeks ago. I haven't
What?
listened to it yet or watched it, but they posted it, and I was like, "My worlds
That
are
is so
colliding."
cool. That is so
Yeah,
cool.
it was really cute. Um, I also have updated Last of Us, which we talked about, which comes in September. You should play it. So fun.
Okay, okay, I
And
will.
people love watching it, and it's the story is so beautiful. It's like even The Last of Us 2, a lot of people didn't like it as much because you had to play as the protagonist, and, like, people
Mhm,
hated that, but I just loved it. I think the devs, everyone did such a fantastic job, so
mhm.
definitely. There's a new horror shooter coming out called Scorn in October. People are really
Mm.
anticipating that. It looks really good. It looked kinda like Resident Evil
Okay,
vibes,
I
so
was
that
gonna
looks
say
really
Resident
fun.
Evil. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Call of Duty: Modern Warfare 2 comes out in October, which is super exciting. That'll be really fun. The new God of War: Ragnarok comes out. We have a new Pokemon coming out in November, Scarlet and Violet. I never really was, like, huge into Pokemon, but
Mhm. Me
it looks
either.
really good. And then oh, the new Hogwarts.
Hmm?
There's a Hogwarts game coming out. It's
Like a
coming
Harry
out
Potter
in, like
game?
yeah, it's coming out in the holidays
Oh,
time.
I've never finished the Harry Potter series.
Same. We don't need to talk
Okay,
about
I
that.
thought you were about to start yelling at me. I was like,
No. And then, Avatar too. There's a movie the new movie's coming out in December, and also apparently they have a game coming out at the
Well,
end
also,
of the
you just
year.
watched Avatar for the first time,
Yeah,
which
I
I'm
did.
shocked about.
I was shocked, I've never seen it in my life, and I can't believe, like, watching it back then, I'm sure it was mind-blowing for people because the CGI and everything was incredible, even for
Yeah,
now. I
I
was
saw
like,
it in theaters
"What?"
when it first came out, and I was like, "Wow, that was," but I have not watched it
So
since
cool.
then.
My favorite
I
ride at Disney is, like, the Avatar ride too.
Really?
You
I
have to do
I
it.
haven't been to Disney in so long, so I haven't been since I was, like, 7,
My first time
so
I went was last year, but the Avatar ride, it's insane. You have to do it. It's so cool.
okay,
Um,
when I come see you, we can go to
yeah,
Disney.
we have to do that. All right, well, we've come to the end of our lovely podcast. Avery, would you like to plug anything? Again, thank you so much for coming on the
Of
podcast
course,
today.
this was so
Appreciate
fun,
it
and I'm
having our
honored that I was your
first.
first guest. That
Yeah.
was so
We're trying to
sweet.
find guests, and I was like, "Avery, I want her
You
first."
always say that. Like, whenever someone's like remember with the Dying Light game, someone was like, "Do you
Yeah.
wanna play with someone?" You're like, "Avery." And I was like,
I feel like it's because like you're my comfort person, and it's just like so easy to vibe with you and talk to you, and like
Yeah,
I just miss
exactly.
you. So I
And
think
then
it's
we get to talk because we haven't talked in a long time too, so
yeah,
it's really sweet.
exactly. Yeah, guys, where give your Instagram, Twitch, whatever
Oh,
you want to
my
shout
Twitch
out.
is twitch.tv/Avery, like that right there. And
Mhm.
then my Instagram and Twitter are Avery Ham, no spaces, like the deli meat ham.
Like the deli meat. I'm sure you say that a lot too.
That's how I always say
That's funny.
it.
Make sure you guys follow Avery, the beautiful, wonderful Avery.
Oh,
What's one piece of advice you'd like to give to everybody or anybody listening, if you have any,
like about anything?
about anything in the world?
Recently I learned to, well, not recently, like maybe in the past like 2 years, was to not take life very seriously, and I feel like it has helped me grow as a person and enjoy life way more than when I was taking it seriously. So that's my only piece of advice
Oh,
is
I love
to
that.
not take life very seriously.
Oh, I love that. That's cute. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, make sure you follow Avery. You guys can follow me too, Autumn on Twitch, AUTUMN right here. And then Autumn Rhodes, you guys can see it down there, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that fun stuff. But yeah, guys, make sure you keep up to date with our podcast, Field of View. Again, it's going to be uploaded on my YouTube every other Wednesday and on all streaming platforms. So hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Thank you so much for listening and taking time out of your day. And hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night or wherever you are in this beautiful world. Bye, guys.